I haven't had much time to do a video recently or any DIY projects, so I thought I would have a little fun and take you shopping with me at Great American Antique Mall, which is where I have my booth. We are in the process of sorting and restocking, and I think you'll see there's a lot of fun things that sometimes we want to spend all our money on here too. Farmhouse style is still very popular in the Jacksonville market, so you'll see a lot of black, white, gray, and neutral colors. This is the top vendor in this space. He also owns his own consignment store in Orange Park, and he owns a Would You franchise in Jacksonville as well. What keeps this booth afloat, really, if you watch, is the variety of smalls that he carries. Smalls tend to pay the rent, and furniture selling is the bonus. I'm always looking at vendor space to see unique displays. I love how this quilt rack is displaying these items from up high. It brings a lot of nice attention. And of course, her shelves are not overcrowded, which really is nice when you are shopping. She has another great little vignette up there with the baby crib wiring, things hanging from it. It does a nice job of drawing your eye up. Grouping like items together like this vendor is doing with these roosters that all seem to have very similar colorations is a great way to create more attention, and it drives people to not only notice that area more, but to be more likely to purchase more than one. It's that time again where Redesign with Prima has come out with some more amazing transfers and molds of varying sizes. The lavenders are to die for, and overall this entire collection just feels perfect for the season. I think these patterns are ones that are going to be classic and timeless, including a couple of new ones by Kasha and an amazing magnolia collection with new transfers and molds. If you haven't seen it yet, be sure to go to vintagebedesign.com and click on the new release tab to see all the new amazing stuff. Did you know that sometimes interior designers get booths at places like this? And this is where they sell leftovers or items that are given to them from their customers. In the corner, you'll notice bolts of fabric. That is leftovers from custom draperies or upholstery projects. The rugs are similar too. Often they'll have them to show something similar to what they want to provide for the client in a smaller size. So this can be a great way to pick up good finds that are high quality and very luxury. And I've mentioned in lots of videos that keeping a cohesive theme is important. This particular vendor has a lot of stuff, but because it's almost all in blue and white, people know exactly what to expect, and she sells a ton. She is very clear to her vision, rarely putting anything that is outside of her theme. Of course, white and natural wood tones, grays, they always match well with her items, but she sells, this is another very top performing vendor. And you'll notice how much she can pack into a booth and still keep it clean and fresh looking because she has such a cohesive theme. This is another one of my favorite booths. It feels very old world charm to me, and everything sort of fits that description. I enjoy the way that she merchandises all of her product. I am totally in love with this rustic horse. It makes me think of Troy. And then she does bring in some more cottage pieces occasionally. I love how she did this old clock that does not have its inner parts. I think it's absolutely outstanding. So this is a good mix of, I'll say, traditional and cottage, but it feels very old world to me. And again, the displays are really what make this booth pop. And this booth has a great example of making people come in to see what's in your booth, because there are a lot of areas that you cannot see until you actually step in. And there are some great things in this space, but you wouldn't know it unless you actually walked in, which is part of the beauty of being able to block areas. You make people come in and spend time looking around. Hands down, this is my favorite booth in the entire store. It screams bling, a bling, a bling, a bling, and it just makes me happy. Every time I come in here, I want to spend money, which is exactly how you want your customers to feel. If I needed something special in jewelry or gifts, this is probably exactly where I would stop first to figure out, you know, what I wanted. And there are things of all kinds of different price points, from high end to low end. But I really feel like this space is well done. I want to come and look around every time I'm here. And the beauty is, it is not your average decor. I have bought my granddaughter some items from this section. The baby items are just so soft and so adorable. Yeah, I love them. I think everything really feels high quality here to me also. And so her prices, you know, these are $14.99. I think that it's actually a really good value. Then she has other things like these candlesticks that are $80 each. But again, you need to know different price points for different shoppers. So there are people who have a lot of money if they can find the right thing, and then there are people who just want to be able to pick up something when they come shopping. Look at these beautiful mushrooms. How pretty are they? So these are wall sconces. That's fabulous. I love them. And $35. They're a little pricey, but not so pricey that someone's not going to come and buy them. Very on trend. This booth is all about Jacksonville trend. And look at these big mushrooms. Again, super fantastic. They are, the biggest one is $80. So again, they're not inexpensive, but they're not terribly cheap either. Okay, so these, I know I see people walk around with these all the time. They are cat toys stuffed with catnip. I am always tempted to buy these. I might have to do that when I go home, since I'm getting ready to go out of town. I would love to see my cats play with these. I think they're really charming. And lastly, I'll take a look at her little bunnies, mostly because I love them. They are $135 each. And again, they are expensive, but there's a very good chance that they'll sell in her booth. And here's a quick reminder that you can follow us on all social media at Vintage Bee Design. And we have a community in Facebook called Creating the Hive, or Creative Con Vintage Bee. And I've just started this month a new coaching group. Membership is only $20 a month. There's lots of discounts. Links in the description below. Let's get back to crafting. So this is a new vendor that moved into the mall very recently, and I love the look. It kind of reminds me of my Aunt Iris's house. I spotted this bunny straight off and knew that it was an attic baby, because I used to have my own collection. I think everything is really charming, and I think it fits a lot of different age demographics. This is definitely along the lines of the shabby chic, cottagecore, grandma chic trend, and you can definitely tell they love the little critters. And I'm gonna say, as a vendor in this mall, critters sell. So I think there's some absolute darling charm. If you are in Jacksonville, this is definitely a new space, a new vendor that you should come and check out. And don't forget to look in all of the cases through the store, because there's lots of little treasures. I personally have my eye on this little black cat right here, because as you know, I have 5 black cats. It's $35, which is actually a really decent price, but at some point I have to decide if I really need it or if I'm just being a hoarder. And that, for many of us crafters, is in fact a fine line. I would love to hear what you think in this booth or any of the other booths. What caught your eye and what are you more interested in knowing about? And this little small booth directly across the way from us is another one of my favorites. I think what I really love about it is that it showcases how much you can do with a fairly small space. It's not very deep, probably only at most 5 feet, but I think it's closer to 4. And you'll see they managed to utilize every inch of this space and really managed to get a lot of product. And I know, because her booth is right next to mine, that I see people in here buying the books and buying the decor and all kinds of things all the time. Things are regularly moving, especially these little furniture vignettes. They seem to do really, really well. I think what people really like about them is if they have a small space, they know this is gonna work in their space because they can see how well it does. And she makes sure that it's, because it's on the aisle, that she decorates the back so it looks good from both sides. And finally, we are at our booth, which, if I'm being truly honest, is a little bit of a hot mess right now. We have barely recovered from market, where we sold more than we expected and just don't have a lot of inventory left. As you can see, the furniture piece is from market, so we did not sell that piece. And we haven't really been able to bring many smalls in from market. So we are relying heavily on our DIY. Sue's been in here helping me fluff and arrange the walls because we did some changes. You know, we had to pull all of our transfers recently, and it has created quite some gaps that we were not prepared for. So it's been all about trying to make things look a little better. I do have the video where I made these boxes. I made these boxes specifically for our mini transfers, and they do have labels, though I'm going to have to do something a little better because people don't really use them well. But it took up a lot less space on our shelves, and I haven't really noticed our sales going down. I do hate to move them from space to space like I did this week, but we had so many open shelves and we're really trying to fill them out a little better. And as you can see, we did bring in some small decor that is just sort of trying to fit in other places as well. Anything we can to make the shelves look a little less empty. It is nice to have all the new maxi and midi transfers up on the wall in their own designated space. These have been cleared off because we have something new coming next week that we think will be a great addition to our booth. We are trying to fill it out, and that has been a real struggle. And DIY paint is always one of our best sellers. We do our best to keep the shelves fully stocked. We do have an order out right now because we are low on some items. I'm looking over there and seeing we're actually sold out of Big Top. But we do really try to keep everything full so that if there's any DIY product that you want, that we should theoretically have it in stock. This is what our transfer tubes are down to now. They are the new transfers that just came out, and then the handful of Hocus Pocus that we have. It used to be that all of these shelves, every last one of them except for those skinny ones, and all of these shelves were 100% full of Prima tubes. So that is a big hit to our booth, looking good. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and we'll see you next week.